out there. They're like, oh,
Well, hello. How's everybody doing tonight? So, we're going to talk about
oh, wait.
we're going to talk about speaking of how well do you really know somebody?
Anybody.
Whether it's your spouse, the president, how well do you know them?
Your family members.
Your family members?
Your best friend.
What? I can't even think what it's called. Skeletons are in their closet that you don't even know
I
about.
wasn't even thinking of
that. That doesn't come out. You never know,
Yeah.
So Jody and I have talked about this before,
Yeah.
and we kind of talked about it today just because some things, with everybody wants to blame everybody, and this person.
So I got into. I'll give it back how it came up to mine today. I got into a Facebook discussion where someone was saying that certain politicians' intentions were bad, were evil. Like, not that their actions were, but their intentions behind it. And I kind of got a discussion of like, you don't know that. You only know because they're in the public eye. You only know what you see on the media. You don't know this person in real life. You probably don't even know a person who knows this person. So like, you only know this snippet that the media or social media, whatever, has chosen to show you. So you can't judge a man's character based on that, whether it's a politician or a sports figure or what's the word, celebrity, anything like that. So that kind of got my mind thinking on it. And we've discussed this before of like, whether it's by time, like we've only known each other for 15 years, our lives before that, we don't really know what that person was like. You only know people time wise in this little snippet.
But I mean, that's more than 2/3 of my life, 15 years. So actually 1/3. I don't know how to do math, so
he forgets how old he is what it is. But and then the other thing is in different areas of your life. So I was just saying, ooh, we got out of focus.
Yeah, there we go. We're moving around.
Like I don't know firefighter Jason. I don't know what he's like on scene. I don't know what he's like, out there. And he doesn't know. Back when I had an office job, he doesn't know office worker Jody. He's never seen me, run a meeting or present to 100 people, or he's never seen that. And I also thought I forgot about this part. So I saw his Twitter thread a few days ago, and it was people tweeting about because all these people are working from home now, and they're shocked at what their spouses are like at work. And it was, I should try to find it, put it in the comments. It was this hilarious thread of people like, oh my gosh, who did I marry? Who is this guy talking in the other room? Because they had never seen that side of their spouse before. So that's just kind of, my mind's been kind of churning since this morning. So it's kind of interesting. And the other part, I'm kind of monopolizing this right now. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Usually it's me, so.
But the other part I thought is if you've ever had somebody that like, I think everybody's had this person that like, you don't really like them. And maybe you even think like they've done some bad things and you're like, man, I don't trust that person. Like this. But then other people really seem to like love them and think they're amazing. And you're like, what is going on? Why do they not see what I see? Or why do I not see what they see? Well, it's because each of you is only seeing this small part of that person, whether it's what they choose to show you or what period of time in their life that you're around for. Or I had a manager years ago, and I'm not going to give any details, but it's the job I call the job with the bad manager. Let's just leave it at that. Years ago. And but I realized at one point that just some things I had heard from other people that if we had met outside of work, she and I probably would have gotten along. But because that's where we met and how she managed me in that, I don't, it would be very hard for me to ever see her in that light because that's how we first came to know each other.
And even Jody, I mean, if you're working with her in like a work setting, a lot of people don't like her because she's going to tell you the truth, whether you want to hear it or not. She's not going to sugarcoat it. She's not going to, she's going to tell you. But that being said,
I get it done.
The last two places that she's been, even on the on the alumni board, they loved it because she got things done and things happened.
Nobody's taking me out for a drink after hours,
but
I get stuff done. That is true.
You know, she got a record of people at the alumni band last year of over 200 people there, but it was a lot of work. She had to, you know, she did have help, but she was the one that was kind
some
of
people the wrong way.
poking the bear and getting things done. And so she loves
And
to
I've
poke
always
the bear.
been like that at work. In a work setting, if I'm at work, I'm there to work. I ain't there to be your friend. I'm there to get her done. And so, yeah. And you've never really seen me.
No, because I just tell her to go fly a kite. So.
He does, because I sometimes do it with him, and he's like, just leave. Shut up. You're my wife, not my coworker. Yeah.
And then I try to get her to do things, and then I can't get her to do those things. So, I don't know. But the work situation, that is something that, you know, who is in your life that, you know, and this kind of came up of, you know, we're judging people because, you know,
you judge their character.
We
judge
their character. And, you know,
really
in some of times it might be, you know, you just don't believe the things that they believe in. And you say that person's a horrible person. Well, that person not a horrible person.
Or maybe you saw them on a bad day.
Yes, you know, or, you know, and there is leadership that, you know, that are not supposed to be there. Maybe they're supposed to be they're a manager, not a leader, you know, and they're in leadership spots, you know, and so, you know, they're doing whatever and they're killing themselves of trying to do that. You know, you don't know what the whole story is a lot of times.
So one thing I kind of realized, like speaking, especially with political leaders, I had this realization a few years ago that yes, there are corrupt politicians out there and corrupt leaders out there. Like, yes, bad guys exist. But by and large, most of the people in that area, they want to make things better and they want to improve things. You just disagree on what that is.
Right.
It's not like they're trying to ruin the world. They think they're making it better. You just disagree on what exists to make it better. So if you humanize people again and realize that these are just men and women that are just doing their best to make things better, even if you disagree on things and on what needs to be done or how to get there, it just helps you see them a different way, and it helps you to stop attacking their character and attacking them as a person, and you can start attacking ideas and policies and actually get down to the nitty-gritty of it. And I think in the long run, that's how you accomplish things. If you just go around saying, oh, he's a bad guy or she's a B word or whatever, you know, that doesn't really accomplish anything.
No. And sometimes I think you got to ask the why. And it's kind of what I heard on a podcast today is about Disney and how they knew what, you know, what do people want to know about. So Disney wanted to raise their income 3%. And so they wanted to figure out why do people come to Disney? Is it for the rides or is it for the whatnot? Well, when they start coming out and, you know, the first they did this big thing of 100 people and did this survey, but they never got the why, because you could always answer the questions of what you think it might be right. So what they found out is when you brought a couple together and they started asking the why, then it was about, you know, why do you want to go ride the rides? Well, I want to go ride the rides so that way, you know, I can go with my kids and I can have that. Okay, so why do you want to do that? Oh, because you want to make memories. Oh, okay. Why do you want to do that? Well, I don't want and it basically ends up being that I don't want my kid to grow up. You know, when was the last time, especially if you have older kids, when was the last time that you remembered, you know, and this was an instance, when was the last time you remembered that your daughter held, especially the dad side, held your hand in public? Or on the mom side is, when was the last time, you know, that the boy wanted to be around the mom more, or, you know, that kind of thing. And so it's all about the why. So what they found out about Disney is they wanted to know the why of that. So what they did is that's when it came out with the magic bands. And what the magic bands did is you got to cut lines, and you got to not have to go in through the turnbuckles and all that kind of stuff. And what they did is they actually saved people an hour and a half. Well, what do people do in that hour and a half? They didn't have to raise their prices, because now everybody started buying more stuff because you had an hour and a half more to spend your money, and you had an hour and a half more to go in there and do extra things, because now you actually are, you know, you got extra time. So figure out the why. Maybe why are you disagreeing with somebody? Why, maybe they've been hurt in the past, and maybe they don't want, they just went put that wall up, and now you're talking into that wall no matter what you do. And so ask the why. Jody learned that a long time ago, even in Toyota, of why
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
what was the one about the bacon pan? Why do you put meatloaf?
So when I worked at Toyota, I worked in a group that they went out to suppliers that were problem suppliers that were having issues, and found out what was going on. But to do that and what the problem was, and it was basically a problem solving division. So the engineers would go out and have to deep dive to find the root cause. And so we had an initiative called Breakthrough Supplier Quality, and the motto was 5 why. You have to ask why 5 times to really get to the root cause of something. And so one of the little stories that and I've heard this story other places. I think I read it in Reader's Digest years ago. It's an old story that goes around. But so there's a little girl is watching her mom cook a roast, and she cuts the end off of each roast. And she asks her mom, why do you do that? I don't know. So she calls up her mom, calls up the grandmom. Why did we cut the ends off the roast? I don't know. So she calls her mom, and it goes back, and you have to go back 5 generations, which is amazing that many are alive, but it's an old Bronx town. It works. But it comes down to the 5 generations past had a smaller pan. They couldn't fit the roast in the pan, but people were still doing it generations later for no reason. There was no reason to do it. And it's amazing how many times in the workplace, in your household probably, that you're doing things just because you don't even know why you're doing them. I can remember I had a boss at Toyota, Paul. He was absolutely one of my favorite managers. And he would every now and then tell me I did all these reports, budget reports and supplier performance reports. And every now and then he'd say, go ahead and update it on the computer, but don't post it on the wall. He said, let's see how long it takes for somebody to ask. And sure enough, a lot of times it would be a few months. And so now we can cut that out of my workload. Because instead of doing it every week and getting it out and getting it posted for somebody to look at once every 3 months, we can wait until that 3 months hits and only do it one time. And so he was really, one of the things that he was really good at is kind of like testing the waters and like, let's see why we're doing this and if we still need to do this. And we're kind of on a tangent, but back to the problem solving. And it does come down to your personal relationships and why somebody is that way. And why are you the way you are?
Why are you the way you are? Who's all on here?
Who is on here?
We got 4 people.
It's going up and down. There's 4 people.
I think you're one person on here, but...
Oh, I left my phone running. Whoops-a-doodle. Did I leave? Is it down to 3? How do I get it down?
Just sleep it. Sleep the whole phone. So, but, this is just something that we had talked about. What are some subjects that me and Jody should talk about? If you have a subject you would want to hear about or talk about, let us know.
My brother said we should have Facebook Live shearing sugar.
Oh yeah, we started shearing our sheep, our
goat.
Our sheep, our
goat.
Our
sheep shears. Amazon delivered our sheep shears today.
and it's kind of weird because one side she's got like dreadlocks, but it's real soft. And on the other side, it's all like beautiful furry, soft. It was a lot cleaner than
I thought. We probably could have like sold it. Like I thought, oh, it's going to be so gross. There's no point in even trying to like actually harvest it. But it actually was a lot cleaner than I thought.
But anyway, it's only about a quarter done, maybe half done.
She got fed up before we were done. We were both doing it, and it's so thick right now, and we're inexperienced.
Yeah, it was pretty.
So she looks real good right now.
No, it's not good at all. And we had a whole bucket of feed trying to keep
her distracted.
But once we caught a bunch of it off, she was loving on us
she would
no other.
Rub on you,
because she never rubs on us at all anytime. And so then she started rubbing all over us. So maybe
I don't. Yeah, we could do a live. It wouldn't be at night. But then when we try to finish shearing her, you guys can laugh at us trying to hand shear our Angora goat. And if anybody wants Angora hair, let me know.
We'll have enough. We got probably another 2/3 of a goat to cut. So,
sorry, goat. Yeah.
Sorry, goat.
Yeah, she looks like a sheep. We joke all the time. I call her a sheep all the time. She looks, other than the 2 little horns sticking out of her head, she's so woolly.
Yeah,
she looks like a sheep.
But that was a fun thing we did today. So.
Yeah. Hooves are next.
And the other thing,
live that one too.
The other thing we need to Facebook Live is the when I go out there to mow the grass.
Oh,
we have this big white puppy, huge dog.
It's probably 100 pounds.
100-pound puppy. It's only 5 months old, 6 months old, and he's
a guardian dog, so a big, strong protector dog to protect our goats and our family.
He is scared to living death of the mower.
Well, anything on wheels, and the mower's on wheels.
Even when I pulled my Jeep in there, he was on one side of the fence, and when I came through the other side, he was on the other side.
We took him for a walk in the park last week. He freaked out as the stroller went by.
What up, Beth?
Anything with wheels, I don't know what that is. I don't know what happened in the 8 weeks before we got him, but he is terrified of anything on wheels. And the mower today, he was stressed. I mean, it's probably a couple hours before he calmed down.
Sitting
he was freaked out
in this one little hole that he dug and just like licking his paw,
panting and like stress licking his paw till it was red. It was like we were wondering if he was injured. It was so wrong. Our poor Tank.
He wouldn't even get up
big,
for
strong
treats.
Tank. No, it was. I feel really bad for him.
It was funny.
He just thinks it's funny. I feel sad for our poor dog.
See, we're talking about judging people. One person thinks it's funny and the other person don't.
I'm judging you for laughing at our dog.
I know it, but that was a fun day to do today. We mowed grass and cut sheep.
And sheared a goat.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying sheep.
Goat.
So, our other goat, he don't need to be sheared. He's
100% pygmy, so he doesn't need sheared. But she is, I don't know how much Angora is. It was supposed to be really far back that we wouldn't need to shear her, but apparently it skips generations because she looks, we'll have to get a good picture of her. If you get a picture of a full-blood Angora, she looks like she's full-blooded.
So if we come back next week, let us know if there is something you want us to talk about or whatnot, or if there's something controversial. We'll do anything. What the heck? I was actually wanting to do something tonight.
He wants to go controversial.
And
I don't know.
Jody was like, we better not.
I've been under a lot of stress lately. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Jody she about deleted Facebook again today to keep her mind. So
I just keep my mind. Not that anybody's doing anything wrong. I want to make that clear in case some of those people are watching. It just, it gets to me, and then it takes up my mental space, and I'll think about it all day, and that's not good.
And she gets in Facebook arguments all the time. And
I try not to. I can't resist. Which is why I need to get rid of Facebook. But I like, I would actually, we'll talk about. So
this is the golden child right here that's on here. So
this is my brother.
Shoot, I got quit that.
I can't. You keep messing up our name.
I know.
So I will talk about my brother for a minute. So we, the girls and I went around yesterday. We had a super secret ninja mission. Oh, we could talk about that. Why we did that. So it's kind of I'm going to backpedal, but I'm going to talk about my brother in a minute. So we've kind of come to realize that, let me see if anybody's listening at the door. Jenna, our 11-year-old, is really struggling with the social distancing. And it's showing up in some interesting ways, but I'm starting to be concerned that she might be getting depressed and dealing with some things. So I was trying to think of a way to get her, both of the girls, but specifically her, out of the house, still meet all the social distancing rules that we're supposed to do, but give the girls something, because they haven't left the house like at all really in 3 weeks, and we're just starting to see some signs, especially with Jenna, that it's really getting to her head. So I'll just tell the whole story. Why not? So I was on a group text with my siblings and my mom, and I sent them a picture. Jason had stopped to get donuts the other day at a local bakery, and he somebody's coming in, and he sent me a picture of the line outside the bakery because it's a little small family bakery. You can only send like one person in at a time. And so he had to wait out on the sidewalk to go in. And so I sent it to them, and my sister-in-law said, oh, bring me a cream-filled donut or something along those lines. And I said, oh, do you accept porch delivery or something like that? She's like, oh, no, never. And then I thought, oh, that's what the girls and I can do. We'll do a super secret ninja mission and try to deliver baked goods to people without them knowing we were there. And so we did. We stopped at the bakery and we got some baked goods, and we drove all over Creation. Went up to my sister's house in Miamisburg, and my parents' house, and my brother's house. And my brother's the only one who caught us. We got Jenna ding-dong ditched my sister. And they didn't even hear the doorbell. Oh, maybe the doorbell's broken. I don't know. And my dad was out mowing the lawn, so we were able to sneak it in there and get out. But it was really fun. And, you know, my sister said, why didn't you say so we could wave and we could, like, holler at you from a distance? But for the girls, you know, I've got an 11-year-old and a 5-year-old, part of it being this ninja mission where they have to do it and nobody know. Like, that's part of the fun for them and gets their mind going. And we had a really fun day. So anyway, so I dropped off my brother. He did catch us, but that meant we did get to chat for a little bit in the driveway. I did not get out of the car. Okay. And he stayed 6-ish feet away. But he does woodworking. I think this is really cool that my brother does this as a hobby. And so he's in the middle of making shelves for their house. They recently had a house built, and he's making the shelves for the closets and everything out of an old fence, John, I think. And so he's got a planer and all this stuff. And I just think that's really cool. I was never good at, I'm not a crafty person. I took industrial arts in school. It was actually required at my middle school to take industrial arts, woodworking type stuff. I got a D, and yes, it is out of an offense. And my teacher told me that he didn't fail me because he knew I tried really hard.
That tape measure just got her.
No, actually, I did great with the drawings.
I said tape measure, nothing with the drawings.
Oh, no, it was the actual sawing and putting things together. Like the drawing part of the class, I did great on. The actual making those drawings come to life doesn't quite work for me. But so I've always been really impressed. My brother's, I feel, is, in my opinion, is a very talented woodworker.
Yeah, he made that cool table.
He made a dining room table a few years ago. It made my parents' coffee tables in their house. So there. So I talked about how great my brother is. He's like amazing uncle to my nieces.
He is.
He really is. All right. Who else wants me to brag on him? I'll do it.
Anybody else need to be bragged on a little bit? Oh,
you're very welcome.
What if, just a thought,
Uh-oh.
so I have Zoom. What if we did a Zoom call, if anybody would be interested, just to get on and talk and, you know, kind of hang out there, that kind of thing.
I've thought about doing this personally, because introverted as I am, I'm getting pretty lonely. He's the only person I can talk to, and he's not here most of the time.
She gets pretty grumpy when she gets lonely sometimes. So.
Stop making me grumpy. So I thought about just starting a Zoom call to you and get on and talk to me.
Share the link and see who gets on.
But then if nobody does, then I'll be even sadder.
Yeah. But just a thought, you know.
Nobody's saying yes. I think this is a bad idea.
But again, I guess that's going to be it. We've been on here for about 25 minutes.
Wow.
So we're trying to keep them under at least 20 to 30 minutes so these ain't too long. So,
next week should be Tuesday, right?
Next week will be Tuesday.
Oh, I know. What are you guys doing for Easter? Is anybody doing anything for Easter? I'm really sad about Easter.
So I have to never heard of Zoom.
Really? What's your work use? Do they use like what's that, AT&T, like web conferencing or?
So Easter, I will be at the firehouse.
That's what he's doing, and they're not allowing visitors, so I ain't doing that.
So she's gonna be home. She's gonna watch some TV church.
Go TV church.
She loves TV church.
I mean, I'm glad they're doing it. Let me be clear about that. I'm really thankful that it's there. Trying to get Jillian. So our kids, our worship pastor is working with our children's director, and they're trying to get parents to send in videos. They have a couple of songs for them to learn, and you send in a clip of your child singing, and they're going to make it into, like, make it part of the Easter service. And I'm trying to get Jillian to do this, and she is resisting. But if she's in it, I'll let you guys know, and then you can go to my TV church too and see Jillian sing. Yay!
So, but.
And that might be it, sadly.
Yeah. So this is Easter Sunday.
Next Sunday, not today.
This weekend is Easter Sunday. So it is sometime that, all you CEO Christians aren't probably going to be able to go. So what if you want to know what CEO Christian is, that's Christmas and Easter only. So
but I was growing up, we called them C&E, Christmas and Easter.
So but you don't have to worry about church being packed this weekend. So we got a cat playing with a bug over here. But it is Easter Sunday, so make sure that you take time and go to church, watch church, something, and whatever you do for church. But
you know, one of my favorite things to do on Easter is, that's a little thing, is when you say, like, he is risen, and the person says, he is risen indeed. I don't know why I like that so much. I really like it.
Yeah. So.
And for some reason, nobody says it the rest of the year. Even though it's true all the time.
Right. But
Microsoft Teams or Skype. That's what John uses. Okay. Zoom's kind of like that. It's like a video conferencing thing. Jason uses it for, I don't know. What do you use it for?
I use it for whenever I have multiple people on YouTube.
Jillian's dance teacher is using it to actually teach. That's how she's doing her classes.
I use Skype too, but it usually fails a lot worse than Zoom does. But I will use Skype if I'm only one-on-one person talking to the live streaming it. So
yeah, Zoom. I think is it a newer product? It seems like it's a newer product.
It's not that new. It's been around. Yeah, it's been around.
It's new to me.
So
of course I haven't been working in a while.
But all righty. Well, hope you all have a good week, and don't kill each other, and don't judge people because you don't always know the story. You don't know what skeletons are in their closet either. What skeletons do you have?
Nothing. You tell me, I won't shut up. I'll tell you everything.
All righty. Well, hope you all have a good week, and don't do nothing. Don't keep your don't keep your social distancing so we can get this thing over with and get back to real world and get back to church and get back to reality.
Family.
But it is a great time to have family right now, your immediate family, and to spend time with them and let them drive you crazy and you can drive them crazy and all that good stuff. Alcohol sales are, I hear, record highs, and I wonder why. So hope you all have a good night and see you all next week.